Hello, FlossTube friends. I'm Ruth, and welcome to this episode of Spectrum Farms Needleworks. I am so glad to spend this time together with you, and today we are talking everything pumpkins. It is pumpkin season, and this autumn girl is very happy. So I have a little bit of something for everyone. I have cross-stitching, I have some quilting resources, and I have some wool applique resources. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, August was my birthday month. My birthday was August 24th, and a dear stitching friend, Caitlin, thank you Caitlin, sent me a birthday surprise, true happy mail, and she sent me the chart for the birthday tart, Jack's Sweet Shop, the birthday tart by Plum Street Samplers. I'm thinking I'm a little close, so let's see. There's what the chart looks like. And I have a small start, a very small start. And I got the center pumpkin. You know what, let me put this on my little board so you can see it a little bit better. And you might hear some music in the background. I live in a rural area, but the neighbors are having a party. So here is my small start, and there's my stitching. Okay, and that was Plum Street Samplers, the birthday tart, and I'll show you the chart one more time. Here's the chart. Let me put that up here too. Okay. So that was a very, very sweet surprise. And that chart, oh, let me back up. Caitlin also sent me this beautiful counting pin or decorative pin. So let me show you that. So I'm sitting not where, well, that doesn't help, does it? You'll learn if you're new here that I don't edit. So let me try that. Isn't it beautiful? Let me go a little close up. Where is it? There it is. Isn't that beautiful? That was so sweet of you, Caitlin. And the finish chart calls for it to be finished in a mini pie tin. So I was trying to find the called for size, which was 4.75 inches. And I couldn't find it, but I did find on Amazon a 4-inch one. And I wanted the black, so I got the black, and it has the removable bottom. So that's how I will be finishing, once I'm done stitching it, how I will be finishing the birthday tart. So you can find these. You can probably find these at your local needlework store, but these I did get on Amazon. So they're fluted, and it has the reversible bottom. So even though it's a little bit smaller than the called for, I think it'll work out. So also in August was my wedding anniversary and my 1-year FlossTube-versary. I've officially been on FlossTube for 1 year, according to my daughter, sort of. So if you're familiar with my other videos, my first video for FlossTube was August 24th, 2023, and I was recording on my birthday because the house was quiet, my husband was out of town, and I really wanted to be part of this community. I wanted to start this channel to meet new people, meet stitching friends. I wanted to learn all about what you like. I was a newer stitcher at the time, long-time quilter, newer stitcher, and I thought this might be a great way, one, to get over my camera shyness, and it is a little weird sitting here talking to yourself on camera, but I really wanted to be part of the stitching community and to make new friends. But after I had uploaded that video, I panicked and I took it down. So you can find out more about that story if you go back to my second FlossTube. But this past year has been absolutely phenomenal. I did, at the encouragement of other stitchers, record my second FlossTube, which I just mentioned, and I posted it, and I've been here ever since. And I'm so grateful to all of you who tune in, who have liked, who have subscribed, who have reached out to me personally. I'm really enjoying getting to know all of you. And earlier in the year, I had made my pin pillow for the year, and my word for the year was gratitude. And I'm going to show you my little pin pillow. It's tiny. It's on 40 count fabric. It might not Here, I'll just do it this way. So my word for this year was gratitude, and I certainly feel that way for all of you. I am so grateful to make new stitching friends, for getting to know some of you more closely, and I just really appreciate your love and support. Now the pin pillow, the tree on the pin pillow, I took from the book Ultimate Sampler Motifs by Brenda Keys. You might be familiar with this book. There's a little bit of a glare. Sorry about that. And interestingly, she's released a new book. I think it's the Red Book or the Red Work book. And that tree is also featured in it. So this little tree came from that book. And on the back, my dear friend Anne taught me how to do a nun stitch. And so I did my name, my initials, and then the nun stitch. Now, I'm not a fan of when the instructions call to split the back and fill it and then sew it back and then stick something over it. That is not what I did on this. This is not covering any stitching. I stitched it closed on the bottom, and then I did my initials. And for those of you who know me, you're wondering, why is there a J and not an A in the middle? My name is Ruth Ann, but when I do cross stitch letters of my 3 initials, lowercase, even uppercase, the R, the A, and the U together, they just kind of mesh together. So my maiden name is what the J stands for, and I like the way it kind of breaks up my initials. So that's what I've been doing. So gratitude, I had no idea when I felt like this was my word for the year. I had no idea just how important and how heartwarming my gratitude for all of you would become. One of my new dear stitching friends that I have met through this FlossTube channel, her name is Linda. And unbeknownst to Linda, she sent me a gift near around my birthday. I think it may have even arrived on my birthday, and she didn't know it was my birthday, but she made me the most incredible gift. And I call Linda needleworker extraordinaire, and I know she is because she has graciously shared some photos with me of her completed stitching, and it's lovely. But I wanted to show you what she sent me as a gift. I'm going to hold it back. It's a needle book. And for those of you who know me or don't, or you're getting to know me, these right here, these little buttons. Oh my goodness. So sorry, Linda, I dropped it. Those are little dogs in honor of my dogs. How touching is that? If you don't know, we have 5 special needs Great Danes, and they're special not only in their behavior, but some of them have vision deficiencies, some of them have hearing deficiencies, some of them have both, and one of them has mega esophagus. And they're just a joy, a goofy joy to have, and they do make appearances, and they are laying around me, and I do have dogs slobber on me, but I just thought that was so absolutely precious that she included those buttons in honor of my dogs. So when I untie this, oh my gosh, I hope you're sitting down. This is just absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot, I'm just, my heart is so full that she did this for me. This is the inside, and she sent it to me completely full. So if you can see, she knows I collect scissors. There's a pair of scissors. There's a bee waxer, floss cards, some marking utensils, some pins, and if you notice, those are pony needles. I've never owned pony needles. I am just blown away by her generosity. There's an emery board ruler. There's her handmade label. Let me hold it back so you can see it. My heart is just so full. I was so blown away, and it is so bright and cheerful. So it opens up, and it's got all the little pockets, and then the back looks like the front. Linda I cannot thank you enough for your thoughtfulness, your generosity. I haven't taken the pins out. I promised that I would use it, and I haven't because I just love it. I keep it near me. I keep it near my sewing, and I will be using it. It's such a treasure, and thank you so much. Now, for those of you that are asking, ooh, does she sell those? I have no idea. But you can certainly ask her. Put something in the comments and say, hey, Linda, I want one. I don't know if she's selling them, but is such a gracious gift that I was just blown away to receive, and really sewn lovely. I just cannot thank you enough for that sweet gift. And I apologize, I'm bumping the camera. And there's, so I wanted to tell you a second thing about Linda. And I mentioned that she was a needlework extraordinaire, and the photos that she had sent me. And one of the photos I'm going to insert and show you. It's called, when she sent me the photos and I saw this, I was like, ooh, not only was it finished really adorable, but I looked at it and said, oh, I want to stitch that. And it's called Blessed Bee by Barbara Cooley, Plum Pudding Needle Art. And I'm going to insert not only a picture of what Linda stitched, but I'll also insert a picture of the photo of the chart, not the chart itself, because even though it's complimentary, I don't like sharing free charts. But you can Google it and find it, because I did. And let's see, I started stitching it, but I replaced some of the DMC. It called for DMC, but when you look at it, so 422, I didn't have, so I replaced it with 420. 829, I replaced with Weeks Dye Works Molasses. DMC 918, I replaced with Weeks Dye Works Sun Dried. And it called for a blend of 3052 and 3853. And, oh no, back up. I misspoke. I replaced 3820. I'm looking at my notes. I replaced 3820 with Gentle Arts Heirloom Gold. So I wanted to stitch the entire chart, but when I got this far, I loved it so much that I didn't want to stitch anymore. And one second. And so I thought what I would do is stitch the sunflower separately as its own pillow. So here's my stitching. Oh my goodness. It's on a really long piece of fabric. Let me see if I can put this back up. Okay. So here's my stitching. It's on 40 count, 1/2. But I don't remember the name of the fabric, and I don't have it written down. It was a scrap piece that I had used for something else. So, oh, I love this so much. Isn't it adorable? So, I think that's what I'm going to do instead of stitching the whole thing, which I probably will anyway. But I think I'm going to finish the bird and the pumpkin, the crow and the pumpkin separately, and then stitch the sunflower separately as its own little, you know, accompanying pin pillow. So that was Blessed Bee. It's a complimentary chart by Barbara Cooley, Plum Pudding Needle Art. And if you Google it, you'll find it. So then the second thing I stitched was, oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you. One second. Let me back up for a second. So when I stitched Caitlin's birthday gift, the birthday tart, that was stitched on 36 count Brenda's Brew. Okay. Now, the second thing I stitched this month was, you may have this, it's the JustCrossStitch Fall in Love with Autumn Stitching edition. And this is a really nice magazine. I finally decided I'll just get a subscription this year. And there's a lot in here. I'll show you some of it. I don't want to show you everything in the magazine because if you decide to go get it, I don't want to spoil everything in the magazine for someone who hasn't seen it yet. But here is Pumpkin Cottage. And there's, let's see, Plenty of Pumpkins. Plenty of Pumpkins. This is really sweet. Pumpkin Princess and her little dress, if you can see it, is a pumpkin. And there's Pumpkins by the Barn. But what I did, you may have seen on my Instagram, is, where should she be? Petite Pumpkin. Petite Pumpkin. Now I used the called for, well, let's see, there's DMC 122, a week's dye work, pecan, or you could use DMC 434, which I did, and I don't like it. It's not the color what you see in the photo. So I used DMC 4, what did I say? 434, and I finished it in the, so it's a scissor fob. I don't know what my camera's doing tonight. It doesn't want to focus. But you can see it is so much darker than the magazine. So if I stitch this again, I would change the color. One of the colors I thought might be nice is 3853. That's a really nice pumpkin color, DMC. There's some really great pumpkin colored floss out right now. Now, when I stitched this, I followed Vonna Pfeiffer's tutorial on scissor fobs. And I added a drapery weight, and I do this for all of my scissor fobs. I add the drapery weight, which gives it some weight, so if it falls on the floor and it's attached to a pair of scissors, it's supposed to take the brunt of the fall first. So I add in the drapery weight, and I also put in a penny. I sewed a penny in it for good luck to keep the frogs away. And thank you, Vonna, for that, because I absolutely love that. And you can kind of see on the back the penny. And this is how I did the back. I put my name and the year. And then I added some of the symbols from the front. And I added some beads because this was scrap and my scrap fabric started to fall apart. It started to fray. So I added a bead in the front for decorative. Gosh, there it goes. And then on the back is primarily where the rest of the beads are. It gives it a little bling, but it's also because my fabric was fraying. And I didn't want to start over. So then here's the front. And there's my stitching. So these little designs on the corner is what I added to the back. I do like this. I like this a lot, and I would stitch it again. It was a quick, fun stitch, but I don't like the color of the floss. But that's something we can do. We can change it. So that was Petite Pumpkin, and again, that was the Just Cross Stitch magazine, the issue that's currently out. And I'll show that to you one more time. Okay. So something else I've bought that's pumpkin, because it's pumpkin everything, is I bought to finish, I'm not sure which piece yet, but this is from Dames of the Needle, and this is their mini pom-pom canned pumpkin. So I'm going to use this when I finish something. I just don't know what, but since it's pumpkin season, I had to have it. I did buy a lighter pumpkin rickrack, but I don't know where I've put it. So also for cross stitching, I stitched pumpkin row. I'll insert a picture of the chart because I've already loaned it out. This is from October House Fiber Arts. Now you might remember last month on my FlossTube number 5, I stitched tomato row. This time I stitched pumpkin row. And I haven't fully finished it yet, but here it is. I apologize, I haven't ironed anything yet. And in tomato row, I changed some stitches, but I did not in pumpkin row. but it's really sweet. And this is stitched on 36 Edinburgh cream. My tomato row I stitched on 40 count, but this pumpkin row is on 36 count. And I really like this. I like this a lot. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put on the back. I am gonna finish it like a long skinny pillow, but I did find some pumpkin fabric, and I actually found this on 123 Stitch, and it feels like really nice fabric, like quilting fabric. Isn't that sweet? So I might do this on the back. We'll see. I don't know yet. But that was, one more time, Pumpkin Row by October House Fiber Arts. Isn't that great? Now I did mess up right here. I was stitching one full cross at a time, but with the way the threads went, I actually got this like horizontal line, but it's okay. I don't mind it. I'm gonna leave it. Something to keep in mind when you're stitching with variegated threads. So I also worked on Pumpkin Sale. Now, Pumpkin Sale, as I've mentioned before, I'm a member of the Delaware Valley Historic Sampler Guild. And our guild for this month, when we meet next Saturday, we have a project that we're doing with Teresa's Primitive Treasures. And I'll insert a picture because the kit, the pre-stitch kit that we got did not come with didn't come with a picture of the completed stitching piece, but I found one. So here is my pre-stitch. You can see the stitching. Now, I changed some things. The P and the S, I did back stitching to bring the letters out. Also back stitched the 5. I back stitched the head and the legs to give it some dimension. I started to back stitch the pumpkin, but right here the back stitching was messing up the pumpkin, so I had to take those stitches out and redo them. So it's a little flawed right here, but I think it's okay because, you know, pumpkins can have a squishy bad spot on the bottom, and so this one does. So I don't think I'm gonna do any more back stitching on it. I really wanted to give it some dimension, but I also, a friend of mine added an eye for me because the sheep didn't have an eyeball, and I thought he should. So that is Pumpkin Sale by Teresa's Primitive Treasures. Let's see. So I think you're all been waiting for the pincushion. I did make a pumpkin pincushion. So if you recall, if you're new here, go back to FlossTube number 5 and watch that. But in that video, I talk about Hands-On Designs Harvest Hexie Pincushion. And I talk about this pincushion right here. But I wanted to show it again because it's got pumpkins on it and it's pumpkin season. Ooh, I love pumpkin season. But my next pincushion, and you'll learn that I don't edit, is a pumpkin. It has 5 leaves. This one is not completely put together yet, so some of the acorns are a little loose. But here's the top. It'll have 5 leaves. Now the leaves are going to vary in color. Some of the wool felt that I was using the green I can't get anymore, which is very, very sad because it was a lovely color. But I also put my button on the bottom with my name, that it was handmade with love by me, and I signed it. Sorry, there might be some dog hairs on this one. But each one will have 5 leaves. See, I told you it wasn't finished yet. 5 leaves, and it'll have 3 acorns. This one's sealed, but these 2 aren't done yet. So that's my pumpkin pincushion. Now, I got the pattern from birdbraindesigns.net, and you can too if you want to make your own. This is what the pattern looks like. Okay, Bird Brain Designs. And you'll see I made some changes. This calls for this acorn. I did not make that. And I originally did cut out the piece for the top, the green leaves, and I didn't like it, so I changed it. So this is my pumpkin pincushion. And some of you have already asked, hey, when you make a pumpkin pincushion, will you sell them? And I will if you want one. These will be just like the tomato ones. They're $40. And I want to say something. I think it was Brenda and Laura from Brenda and the Cereal Starter who had mentioned in their last video that they don't earn any money from their floss tubes. And neither do I. I want to say this channel is not monetized. I do not receive anything from YouTube for any of the ads that they run. So if this video is interrupted by an ad, that is completely the YouTube algorithm and YouTube earning revenue from the ads that they run. I don't receive anything, so I'm not monetized through YouTube. I'm not sponsored by anyone, and I don't have any affiliate links. So when I share resources like the pattern from birdbraindesigns.net or something from Amazon or from Etsy, I don't receive anything for that. That is just me sharing a resource with you, and then you can do what you want with the information. If you buy something from something I've recommended, fantastic. I am so glad that I provided a resource for you. But if you don't, no worries, because I don't earn anything from it. And if you decide it's not for you, that's fine too. So I just felt like mentioning that. So my channel is not monetized, sponsored, or affiliated with anything. So when I was working on this pincushion, and I really wanted to do acorns on top, I was trying to audition other things to have on top that I did not use, but I thought you might want them as a resource for something. So at the dollar store, I found these pumpkin picks. Okay. And they're sparkly. And if you know me, I like sparkly. There we go. So they have pumpkin picks. I also auditioned, that I found at the dollar store. Well, it's not really $1 anymore. It's like $1.25. Was these things. And I don't know how I'm going to show you, but they look like they're glass, but they're plastic. There was a little set of leaves. And different little acorns. So here, I'll just hold up the bag. So I had put them in a Ziploc, so you can see there's different little ones. So I had auditioned those for on top of the pincushion, but I didn't like those either. So this is the final result. And I want to mention for just a moment, I want to thank those of you who did reach out and order a tomato. So I wanted to say a special shout out thank you to Anne, Linda, Betty, Carol, Cheryl, Paula, and Pam. So thank you very much. And one thing I forgot to mention about Linda, so 3 things about Linda, is she and I are going to be doing a stitch-along with the new release from Teresa Kogut called Bittersweet Bird. And I'll insert a photo. She has her kit already. It was a pre-order, and mine has not arrived yet. So we don't have all the details on the stitch-along, but if you'd like to be part of it, drop a comment, and I'll let you know when we get all that finalized. It was really just going to be the 2 of us stitching together, but we would love to have anyone from our stitching community join us who wants to. So keep that in mind. So you've got plenty of time to get the chart if you don't have it. It's Teresa Kogut's Bittersweet Bird. We don't have the stitch along hashtag yet, so stay tuned for more information. Okay, something else I wanted to share since it's pumpkin season, but it's not a pumpkin, but it kind of goes along with the leaves that I just showed you. I found this at Michael's. It's a candle votive, and it was $4.99 and it was half off, so it was, you know, $2, $2-ish. But I wanted to share this with you because it is glass. This would make a really sweet pincushion, a really small. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but I thought you might like to see this as a resource. And I apologize if I keep looking in the wrong direction because my phone, I think, is flipped from the normal way that I usually have it. So let's see. Resources. It's pumpkin season. So when I started looking through all my charts for what I had with pumpkins, I have some charts that I wanted to stitch that I have not started yet. So, but I thought I'd show them to you anyway. So if you like Halloween pumpkins, I've got 2 charts in my stash. So one is Spirits and Spells. This is with my needle and thread, designed by Brenda. And here's that chart, and it's got like a little scary face pumpkin. So you might like that for your Halloween stitching. I also have Witch's Brew, also by Brenda. Some of you have probably already stitched these. If you know me, I like coffee, so Witch's Brew. And there's the little pumpkin face on Witch's Brew. So I would like to stitch both of those. I also bought this, and I thought I might use that pumpkin fabric for the backing if I make this, but this is Little House Needleworks Pumpkin Farm Petites. I'm really into smalls right now. But you know what? You could even take these designs and do a pincushion like this one, you know? There's a lot of different things you could do with this. You could stitch it all on one piece in a row and make a really nice drum. Or you could do it just like they've called for it. So that was Little House Needleworks Pumpkin Farm Petites. Also from Little House Needleworks, I have Fall on the Farm. So I thought I would stitch that. I'll turn it so you can see it. Sorry for the glare. And you know what would really be sweet is if you combine these somehow. Like stitch this, and then there's their barn, there's their pumpkin pile, their wagon. I think these would be really sweet together, you know, on a harvest sampler. Make your own sampler. So something else I'd like to stitch is Hands-On Design Hey There Pumpkin. And this is a pumpkin of a different color. This is a white pumpkin, so here's what it looks like, but I'll turn it so you can see the design. Hey There Pumpkin. And you know, you could do just one. That would be really great to do like on the lid of a jar or as a pincushion. I'm really into pincushions right now. Or a little pin pillow. Or you could even do the word pumpkin and just one. I think that would be really sweet on a little pillow. Now this chart was given to me. It's Autumn on the Farm by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And you could even blend this with the other chart from Little House that I showed you. So here's what the chart looks like. But there's the stitching. So it's got a great tree. There's a nice pumpkin here. There's a pumpkin wagon. I think that's really nice too. So I look forward to stitching that. Then I also have, pardon the crinkle, because I kitted it up. I was hoping to have these stitched to show you, but I haven't been able to work on them yet. Candy Corn Pumpkin by Stitches by Ethel. Stitches by Ethel. And this is what the chart looks like. Look at that sweet little mouse showing, giving the candy corn to the crow. Is that just not precious? How sweet is that? Oh, love it. There's that one. And then I also have that I'm looking forward to starting. And it's Halloween Ride. And this is by Yasmin. I don't know if it's Yasmin or Yasmin. And I used to be really good with names, but I'm not anymore. Baik, maybe? Bake? I don't know. But this is, sorry, Yasmin. Halloween Ride. There's a fox in the pumpkin. There's the wise owl in his tuxedo. I love that. And you know, you could stitch it just as a full pumpkin, not with the fox peeking out. You could leave the owl off or add him. I think this is really sweet too. One of my grandsons, his room, he's 2. Excuse me, and his room is in foxes, so this made me think of him. Really sweet. So there's that one. And the other one I'd like to stitch, that's, surprise, not a pumpkin, but I think I might replace what's in the center with a pumpkin, is Country Spirits Collection Crows Aplenty, designed by Sandra Sullivan. So this one, I think this would be really sweet to remove the beehive and put a pumpkin there. Or you could add little pumpkins, little tiny pumpkins in between the crows and really make it dressed up for fall. I really like this. Okay, so I think that's all I have for cross stitching, but I wanted to show 2 resources for quilting and 2 resources for wool applique. This I think I got on the secondary market. I'm not sure. Maybe I got it from, I'll find it and I'll link it. But this is Midnight Silhouette. As a longtime quilter, I was familiar with Blackbird designs through the quilting world. So my mind was just blown away. But they also did cross stitch, which I should have known because some of their cross stitch charts are in some of my quilting books. So this is a quilt pattern, excuse me, by Blackbird Designs, and it's Midnight Silhouette. And there's pumpkins right there. So for the quilters, this is a great fall piece. You could stitch it with or without the cat. If you like the stars. But I pulled this out because it's got pumpkins. So I look forward to making that. Now, excuse me, in this book, Applique in the Garden, Applique in the Cabin by Tonee White. I think I saw this book, I think it was the Log Cabin Quilter who shared this. And in this book is a lovely quilt with pumpkins. And I'm going to show it to you. It's called Pumpkin Patch. Let me shift over. So here is the quilt with all different kinds of pumpkin applique. And what she did was, yeah, I'm not showing anything. Okay. What she did was she added birds like crows from another pattern. And I think that would be just great. So that's Pumpkin Patch. So that's an applique quilt. And it's fall leaves and acorns scattered across a pumpkin patch. Make a delightful welcome the first chilly days of autumn. So I just loved it. I loved how she added the birds. I'll show it to you one more time. I think you can see it. And this is the book that it's in. And this is still available. You can find this. So there's some really great quilts in here. So those are 2 quilting resources. Now for wool applique, I forgot who I learned this about Buttermilk Basin from. But Buttermilk Basin has pick of the crop, and I believe I got this at my local quilt store. And this is what the book looks like. And there's a pumpkin right on the front. There's also an acorn. So that would be great in wool applique. You know, you can also take the wool applique and make it into a quilt or a wall hanging. You wouldn't have to do the wool if you didn't want to. But there's some really great pieces in here. So not just that one, but some others too. There's the Pumpkin Patch Pear, which is a crow and a pumpkin, which looks like this. There's some really nice things in here. So I wanted to show you that. Here I am thumbing through it. But I wanted to show you this as a wool applique or a quilt wall hanging or incorporated into a quilt resource. And the second one, and this one I have started, it's the Best of Buttermilk Basin, a bevy of cotton and wool quilted projects by Stacy West. And this is what the book looks like. I have started this one. I love this. Love this. This one is called, if I can get to it, I think I passed it. Sorry, I didn't mark the pages. Usually I mark the pages. Here it is. Crow's Harvest pillow. And here's the inside photo. And somewhere I have a wooden bowl. I don't know if I'll do it that way, but I have started this. It took me a little bit to find this background wool that I wanted, but I have wool for the rest of it. And this is something else you could do. You know, you could make this into a quilted wall hanging. And you know, you could even pair the two together. That would really be sweet. You could put them both like, I don't know, I'm thinking like yin and yang, because one's got a dark background and one's got a light background, or find a complementary background for both, and you could make something with them together. That would be nice too. But this just really drew my eye. So I have started that, and I look forward to showing it to you in another video. Now, one other thing I wanted to share with you is it wouldn't be pumpkin season without a project bag. This I got from Etsy. Mesa Quilt Company was a new Etsy seller to me, and I was looking for a pumpkin project bag for all of my pumpkin projects, my cross-stitching projects. And I can make project bags, but this one, why make one when I can help support an Etsy seller? And this is the bag. Let me get my board. Okay, it's vinyl front. It has gorgeous pumpkin fabric, and you can't really tell. It's got a little bit of, I don't know, I wouldn't say sparkle. It just kind of shines, I think. But I wanted, her stitching is lovely. Her mitered corners are lovely. And as a quilter, that means a lot to me to see that. It's stitched really nicely. Here's the back. Sorry, I'm trying to use the board just for support. Isn't that lovely? I love this fabric. So it is quilted. The lining, the interfacing, it's not thick, but it's not super thin either. And it is quilted. It's got, looks like straight line quilting. Oh, there, you can probably see it. Okay, and it came with the two charms. So you'll see it came with a pumpkin and a scarecrow. And I thought her price was reasonable. I think it was $28. Sorry, it doesn't want to, the camera, there we go. Well, I don't know, the camera doesn't want to focus tonight. But in it, she included her business card, which I appreciated. Her name is Cheryl Bradford. So let me show you that. Okay, this is from Etsy, Mesa Quilt Company. And she included a tea bag, and I love hot tea. And it's Elevation Tea, which I've never heard of, and it's Avalanche Lake Blend. So here's the tea bag she included. So thank you, Cheryl. I will definitely order from you again. And this is so well made. Sure too. And I like the lining, the inside plaid. So I was very excited to receive that. So thank you, Cheryl. It's very well made. Mesa Quilt Company. Okay, I don't normally edit, but I'm breaking in because I found the other things that I wanted to share with you. So I had mentioned the light colored rickrack, and this is from Lady Dot Creates, and it's called Pumpkin Patch. And there's the rickrack, and this is a small rickrack. Okay, Pumpkin Patch. Also, if you like pins, Just Another Button Company has a pumpkin pin, and this was a set. There's the pumpkin pin. For cross stitching, I have another one with Little House Needleworks, and this is Pumpkin Patch In. And I thought this would be nice. You could stitch it without the words. You could stitch just the crow and the pumpkins. So I thought that was nice. Or you can incorporate it in with the other ones. And I also have Pumpkin Farm by Blackbird Designs. This is Anniversaries of the Heart pattern number 10. And it's got a light colored pumpkin. Okay. From Blackbird. And some of the floss colors that I really like is Weeks Dye Works Pumpkin. Let me grab my board so you can see it. So this is Weeks Dye Works Pumpkin. You can see that. I also like Gentle Arts Pumpkin Pie, and I'll turn my board the other way. So that's Gentle Arts Pumpkin Pie. I'll move it down. I'll put the other one back up. Okay. So I also like Gentle Arts Pumpkin Patch, which is a lighter color. So that's this one. Gentle Arts Pumpkin Patch. And then I also have Classic Colorworks Pumpkin Harvest. That's this one. So here's 4 different pumpkin shades. There's more that I have, but I came across these and I wanted to share them with you. So oh, one more thing. I also have pumpkin scissors. These are dinky dies. And they're pumpkin scissors. These are small. These are, they're about 4 inches in length. So you can see them here. Okay. Aren't those cute? Little pumpkin scissors. So I think that's all I have for tonight. Thank you for sticking with me. I don't know why we didn't have any guest appearances from the dogs, because I am still surrounded. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful pumpkin, fall, and autumn season, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.